everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are all doing great. I haven't been on here in a couple of days, so I hope everyone is hearing me well. Just if you could give me a thumbs up and let me know you're hearing me. My computer is freezing at the moment, so I hope I didn't even hear the end of the intro music. It went out. So let me know if you're hearing me. But welcome to Facts and Two Cents if you are. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, and we kind of saw all of them, probably except Poola Guy and the chicken. Well, I think we saw the chickens in a bit, but we kind of saw all of them yesterday, and it was wonderful. Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. It's like, yes, well, I can hear you. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you, Lydia. Lydia said, yes, you can hear me. Awesome. I got my computer is lacking in space at the moment, so I have to take it in for some repairs, and so I think that's why my video and sound is kind of funky. But thank you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am happy you're here. As I said, the last couple of days I haven't been on here. I apologize for Wednesday. I had a bit of an issue on Wednesday that was a little bit much to handle. And so it was such a shocking thing. Like dealing with it, and then I completely lost track of time, and then I looked at the time and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I tried to do it and I couldn't, and Wednesday was just Wednesday afternoon up until now, it's just been like a bit of a mess. But I'm hoping things will have worked out or will work out. It's when situation, it's so funny with me and stuff, it's like there are a lot of things that I feel like if it happened to me, and if I'm the one directly affected, I feel more in control in the fact that I can handle it, or I can figure out how to handle it. But when it's something that happened to someone else, but as kind of came through me, even though I'm not at fault in any of it, but it's just sort of, I was in a sort of inadvertently attached to something that I had no idea that was happening. And then someone's life is, and their career and all of that could be badly affected. And it was very, very hard to take. And so, it's, I'm hoping that it all worked itself out or will work itself out. But it's just, all I'm going to say, I can't, obviously talk about exactly what happened. The only thing I'm going to say because it's sort of in this space, and, and I've talked about it, I know, I would say probably almost a year ago, when all that stuff was happening with, trusting people within the squad and all of that stuff. And this is not a squatty that did this, but it is still within the space. So all I'm going to say is, just, continue to be careful, continue to, be mindful of communications, and mindful of, and I hate to even say that, because I feel like our space is such a, it's like, I don't know, I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like a tight-knit space where, there's a level of trust. But at the same time, we don't really know each other per se. I've never met any of you guys. And so other than my early videos when Pamela and I used to be on, where you would actually see us, you haven't seen me in, almost a year, probably more, my face. And so, but, I say that to say, just be careful in who, if and I hate to say people who are supposedly new to the squad and then they turn out to not be, and they have other motives. And so you just never know. You really just never know with stuff. And so I kind of let my guard down. in this situation. And and I'm always the one like, don't let you go down, be careful, be mindful. And I stupidly let my guard down and missed, and not missed, I sort of there were so many red flags, and I was on myself like, oh, pedal, just relax and chill. I mean, looking back, I could see how many red flags there were, and I just sort of put them aside, and just how you have those intuitions and feelings, and it's like pedal, and it's like, oh, just relax, chill, you're just worried for nothing, and then all of a sudden it comes back and you're like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so I've been dealing with a lot of that in the last couple of days, and ways that even though it wasn't you know I'm not, it's not something that I did or anything like that. I saw if I had not missed those, or at least ignored those red flags, I would have asked questions. I would have, and I just didn't. And yeah, so it is still hard. It's a big, hard slap in the face lesson, but it is. We all learn lessons, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to grow, and unfortunately, have to be a little more guarded in this space at large. So yeah, but anyways, that's that's that on that. You live and you learn, so here we go. Anyways, guys, so much has been happening. I know if you're squatty, your world may, maybe it's just me, your world may have been about Harry and Meghan docu-series in the last day. I mean, I'm assuming all of us were up at 3 a.m. I know I was. I didn't sleep the whole night. Well, actually, I fell asleep for 1 hour after I watched it, and then I dreamt that some crazy person was chasing me, and so I didn't go back to sleep, and then I had to wake up and go off to a job that I was doing. So needless to say, I slept last night. That's it. But I am assuming everyone was up at 3 a.m. and watching, and I would love to hear what your guys' take on it is. I would love to hear what you got out of it. I mean, goodness grievances. It was I was nervous before, I was a little bit, concerned as whatever they'll be talking. And also too, part of me, it was a little anxious because the blowback, and what was going to happen. And so, but I'd love to hear your take. I'd love to hear your take on what you got, what you saw, what you thought. And yeah, so I am going to go into the chat for a bit and see where you guys are in what what you saw. And also too, I want to know, were you up at 3 o'clock, or you well, I mean, if you're in the UK, that's what, like 8 a.m. I guess in the UK or in Europe, and maybe some parts of Europe 6 hours. Africa, maybe different parts of Africa might be 6 hours or something ahead. So times would be, probably be more like what 8, 9, 10 in the morning. So, but in on the East Coast of the US, it was 3 a.m. So so yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear. I mean, some of you might be like, oh gosh, we talked about this like a million times, but I haven't spoken to you, so I want to know. So anyways, and also I'm gonna see who is in the chat as well. I didn't even say hello to all my friends in the chat. Church Nelly, Lydia, let's see, going down. I'm just gonna scroll down and say hi to people as I go. But Karen M is here, and Fancy, and oh, Karen M, our awesome moderator. I was like, say you. Oh, yes, Karen. Yes, it is 1 and 2. There are some countries that it's at 3, but it is 1 and 2 in the world. Let's see what countries. Yeah, I have our wonderful squaddies have posted up some of the data, and US. Oh, let me take your thing away from there, Karen. Let's see. In the US, it's one. UK, it's one. Obviously, even though they're screaming and moaning, they all got up, or at least, it was what, 8 in the morning there. They all were watching it. South Africa is a number two. My home country is number two. This show Wednesday apparently is really good. I guess that's what is it, the Monsters or whatever they are called. That show is about them. Where else? Oh, Canada is number one as well. So yeah, it's doing great. I'm sure Netflix is very happy with what it is. One of the narrative going on, people obviously we know in the UK press, they were really, really, really expecting those bombshells and truth bombs and all of those things, none of which materialized. I love the fake out. I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love the fake out. Lydia's like, I'll return for the start of the podcast. Hi, Lydia. I'm assuming you're here. Church Nelly. Hi, Church Nelly. And all the thumbs up for everyone. Hi. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Iris is like eating my breakfast late and grits. Oh, well, enjoy your grits. I just had oatmeal, so sort of in the family, I guess. Welcome, Iris. And Lydia, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. Carolyn and Angela here. And Catalina, she's like blessings. Noreen is here, and this is my French here. Bonjour, pedal et tu les. That's how you say it, squatties? I'm assuming that's just hi, squatties. I don't know French, but hello, Noreen. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down and see what you guys are saying, and I will say hello to everyone as we go. Oh, why, Louise? It's a privilege that, to have you here. Aw, absolutely a privilege to have you here. I'm very happy you're here. And so let's see. Emerald says, I watched it from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. I thoroughly enjoyed it and learned truths. Okay, Emerald, so tell us what truths you learned. So Emerald was up. We should have done it we should have done a live thing or something, like be on, live, and we could be like, OMG. C-Mac was also up at 3 and watching bed straight through. Yep, so did I. Yeah, I did the same. Faye says, I watched it twice back to back so I can take it all in. Yes. Lydia, what do you mean you couldn't do 3 a.m.? Ooh, Lydia, I'm kidding with you. I know Lydia's like, I have to go to work, But no, I totally understand. I totally understand that. Totally understand. Karen M says, I was happy that Meghan's niece was the one to tell the truth about her biological mother instead of Meghan. Yeah, it's so funny. I honestly, I've only seen one video of this girl, and I don't know why, but probably because I saw that video, I just assumed she was still a little kid. I didn't realize the girlfriend grew up. Because I didn't know how old that video was, and in my mind, she was a little kid. So, so I was very happy to see this young lady in front of me. I was like, oh, and yeah, it was very, very interesting. It's so funny. Again, majority of people or no one knew about the situation with her not going to the wedding. And, the advice was her. And that was just really sad. You could tell she's still hurt by that. And I mean, I would definitely be hurt too, knowing that her mother's role in, Samantha Markle she's done her family such a disservice, and so it just, I don't know. There's some people that, I'm glad Meghan has an arm's length or, many states' length distance from Samantha Markle and her father, because that is just toxic. Of course. Judge Nelly, Nacho was like a second. 1 second. She's like, I'm stuck on the Nacho part. I know, right? But I thought of you when I saw that, and I'm happy Nacho was there. And of course I assumed Nacho would be there. So that leaves, there are a couple of people that I'm looking for, I hope will be in the second part, but probably not. And it's only because I saw them in Montecito. We saw them, well, at least Eugenie at the football games, and them, and then Harry's friend that was here as well. So it's not gonna, I just want to see if they would stand up for them. And I don't know why I'm obsessed with that idea, but and everybody's like, no, Eugenie will never do it. She probably never would. But I don't know why I'm obsessed with that. I don't know. I really, in my mind, I would just love to see someone from, other than Meghan and Harry, from within the family stand up and say, what y'all did and doing is wrong. I really want to believe that they, somebody else there has the courage to stand up. And, I think that's why. Alma says, my time zone was 6 o'clock. Oh, okay. So that was Alma's time zone. That's definitely a more godly hour. 3 a.m. is like, Harry and Meghan, you're the only people that I would do this for. Absolutely the only people I would do this for. Joy says, beautiful love story to do on their terms, and what exactly happened. I watched the episode twice and will watch it again. The first 3 episodes is a setup for the final 3, and I feel the same. I'm like, I expect the next 3 episode, it will be what I guess people were expecting the first episode to be. And I definitely, you guys, do you notice how they kept saying the name Jason Kanoff? And I was like, I hope, I'm assuming they will go through that whole court case and what Jason Kanoff did. And I'm hoping they name him. I'm hoping they name Prince William and don't leave it out, to protect anyone. But again, that's just me. I'm petty like that. And it's not even petty. It's the truth. I would hope. I also love the fact that they didn't address the racism, the royal family's history of racism. They allowed experts to do it because, that's what the press are looking for. They are looking for Harry and Meghan attack the royal family and call them racist. Even though they didn't say, even though it's just the experts, of course, they're still, they're all up in arms because they brought up and it did a history of colonialism and the slave trade and all of that stuff, and the royal family's involvement in slave trade. And on that note, did you guys see the crown that Prince Charles or King Charles would be using for his coronation? That crown was made for King Charles II. Well, that's the one who signed, and he is the one that was heavily involved with and had, when the empire or the royal family was heavily into the slave trade. I mean, they traded more slaves than anyone in the world, and he was the one that, I guess authorized that ship or whatever to transport the slaves. And so it's just wild that is the crown that Prince Charles is choosing to wear for his coronation. And then these people are angry when people bring up the slave trade and when people bring up the, and colonialism. And it's just like, but you're using a crown from King Charles II. And it's just like, hello. It's unbelievable that it sort of goes right over their heads. And again, let's see. Emma says she was up at 1:30 a.m. with the deal. All right. Emma, man, she wasn't playing. Catherine says, I found it at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Oh, okay. So I guess it played in different time zones. Okay. Oh, or maybe on your time zone it was 2 a.m. Okay. Let's see. Awesome. Bonnie says, peddle the blowback Tory MP trying to put through Parliament to strip Harry and Meghan's title is every It's every chat show topic. I mean, it's so boring. It's so funny. I literally posted that a couple days ago. I mean, this topic is so boring, and every time they bring it up, it gets more and more and more boring. Does Harry and Meghan look like the type of people who care if you take a title from them or not? If they care, they would shut up. The fact that they're not shutting up should tell you they don't care. If they want the title, take the title. Nobody's stopping them. At this point, I'm like, y'all just looking for attention. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for some kind of relevance. You're looking for some way to feel for Harry and Meghan to be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my title. So I mean, do they come across to you as people who are afraid or who care? Because if people who care or are afraid wouldn't do the things they're doing, they wouldn't say the things they're doing, they wouldn't call you out. And so it's just like, it's such a boring topic. And they just look stupid by now. It's like, take the stupid title. Nobody cares. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex is not their brand. Their brand, the reason why their docu-series is called Harry and Meghan, that is their brand. So if you take the Duke and Duchess of Sussex title, nobody cares. Because that's not their brand. So it's so stupid. It's just like, and again, make no mistake about any of this, no matter what the tabloid scream or MP scream, there are two things happening here. If, anybody watching the first 3 episodes, the crux of those episodes was press abuse, British press abuse. Over and over, whether it's Princess Diana or even Kate Middleton or Meghan or whomever, the crux of it all is about press abuse. And that's the one thing the press does not want people to focus on. They want you to focus on, oh, they attacked William and Kate's marriage. And that's another thing. Why would, when Harry talked about, members of the royal family, marrying for their head or marrying for their, head or whatever he said, as opposed to their heart or the person they feel they can, spend forever with, why did all the media just sort of jumped at it being he's talking about William and Kate? In my head, I thought he was talking about his parents. Prince Charles wasn't in love with Diana. He didn't marry her, with his heart. That's who I was thinking. But it seems all the British press has jumped to it being about William and Kate. I wonder why. It's like, is there something you want to tell us about William and Kate that you've known all this time and you've been lying about? Is there a reason why you would think it was William and Kate? I mean, didn't you say they were happily married? I mean, if they're happily married, why would you think that's who Harry's talking about? Because I didn't, for me, with people's marriage and stuff, I stay out of that stuff because I'm like, it ain't none of my business where they are in their relationship. People show us what they show us on the outside, but, even people who are, seemingly on the outside are in love, stuff could be happening on the inside that we don't know. So I kind of stay out of those situations, but I mean, I was just very intrigued as to why they just all jumped on it being about William and Kate. So are they telling on themselves? So yeah. Anyway, very, very, very interesting. Marjorie says, I watched it at 5 a.m. Jamaica. Okay. Jamaica, 5 a.m. It helped me for all the series. I was late for an appointment. We have learned so much truth and how they met, the wedding invites, Meg's family, how Doria felt, etc. Ooh, guys, Doria. We'll get to Doria in a second. Yes. Rachel Sun said, Scammy claims that she was told by Palace Source it was Meghan's decision to leave the niece out. What Palace Source? Offshore. On one of those unnamed Palace Source, of course. Unbelievable. Let's see. Melissa says, I like that Archie says mama instead of mommy. Oh, yeah, that was so cute. That was really, really cute. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite. Where is that picture? I'm not gonna go. Oh yeah. Oh, this picture is, yes, that is definitely mama. That has to be the cutest, most adorable thing with Archie and kissing his mom and just holding her face. And I was like, he's seen daddy do that. Or he's just such a loving kid. It was like, oh, it was a beautiful mommy moment. And yeah, when Harry was trying to bird watch and Archie's like, Mama, my foot's dirty because I was with Mama. It's just so beautiful. Okay, a little Archie at the top there. Oh, and I'm assuming this little one there, that's our baby Lilibeth. That's just so adorable. It's like, oh, so adorable. Ah, I can't speak. Adorable. Um, Dolores says, remember the cult stands together. They are brainwashed. It's, yeah, I'm gonna read an article in a second because it is, I mean, they are definitely fighting tooth and nail. They are so desperate to hold on to the monarchy. They are desperate. It is just like someone's posted that I think it's one of our squaddies. They posted a sort of like a screen video of the Daily Mail. So apparently the Daily Mail today has 18 pages in there. I guess that's their print version. I don't know. I'm assuming that's their print version. But they have 18 pages of their newspaper dedicated to the Sussexes. And it's all negative. 18 pages. Now, I don't know how many pages that a Daily Mail article is. I literally never seen the physical copy of it or anything. So, or even I've never really checked it online either. But 18 pages you're gonna do to devote, and it's just like, this is craziness, absolute craziness. Jerry says Jason Off is definitely in part 2, which is what I think too. I absolutely think this as well. Jason Knopf is there. That's why they bring, and I think it's a way to let people say, okay, yeah, this is the same person who advised about Samantha's daughter. This is the same person who was the comms person. This was the same person, and so I expect to see Jason Knopf, and I hope they really out them, especially for leaking their private email and text to the tabloids. I would love, I don't know if they would do it, but I would go, so, I would reveal all the background story of that in the emails and texts that went back and forth, even to the point when the fact is, even with Scobie's book, it's Kensington Palace, and there are people that convinced Meghan to be a part of it. If you remember, at first she didn't want to be a part of it at all. She didn't want her friends a part of it. She didn't trust Scobie because he had written, I guess, an article that was incorrect. And she says, like, if he couldn't get this correct, why should I trust him? So she didn't want to do any of that. They convinced her that by doing that, they could refute some of the negative stuff that was written and the lies that was written about her. And then they turned it around and used it against her. And so I would hope that, if they did or not, I would hope, and I would love for them to really and keep using his name, so that name is embedded in people's mind as to who and how did all of this stuff come about in the first place and who's behind it. Carolyn says, do you think Eugenie may speak? Again, it's my obsession. It's my obsession. And she's the only person I could think of who would go rogue, or who would feel strong enough to go rogue and speak out against, what they were doing. And what did you guys think of that, the little clip of William, Harry, Eugenie, and Beatrice when they had gone skiing, and then they were made to stand in front of the press corps on their ski trip, and poor little Eugenie is falling in the snow, and it was just so sad. Just seeing the look on their faces broke my heart. And this is a reason I keep speaking out about what the monarchy does to children. It was just heartbreaking looking at their faces and knowing how uncomfortable and invasive these grown adults were, questioning a group of little kids. And so it was very, very jarring. And, I know some people, even in the squad, don't agree with my stance on, because a lot of people think, I don't care about the Cambridge's kids because they don't, they're more privileged or whatever. And my stance on that is I don't care who's their parents are. I don't care. They are children and they will suffer because of this. And I don't want to see any of them have be put in these situations. But that was really, really tough to watch. And again, there's a nation of people that just co-sign that behavior is definitely it's fine. It's definitely fine. So yeah. Lottie disagrees. Lottie says, well, in terms of one of the people standing up for them in the royal family, Lottie says, I don't think that anyone would stand up for them. But everything that Meghan and Harry has said, they had a receipt. Yeah. And it's, yeah, I, I was just hoping. I was just absolutely, absolutely, absolutely hoping. Yeah. Um, let's see. Angela says, I'm glad they showed and spoke with Prince Cecil. He always spoke up for Harry. And you notice, how we're always saying that it's Prince Cecil and Nacho who are Harry's brothers. And it's so wonderful that it's so wonderful that they were both there, you know. It was so wonderful that they, that because again, those are who they are really Harry's brothers because William, I don't even want to talk about him being in that space of brother because William really isn't. Verda says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Judy. Sorry, hi, sorry, Judy Regault. She's speaking to Verda. She says, true. They gave her a bigger hurt, I believe. My opinion, she could still let the world know about her mother's behavior." Okay, I'm assuming they're talking about Samantha Markle's daughter. Sometimes, especially dealing with stuff like that, you don't want to because again, she come out and speaking, the press is going to go after her, and so I'm glad she was able to speak her truth in this format. I feel the same about Doria. Oh Lord, you too, Faye. They're both jonesing on nachos and nachos beauty. I agree. No, church, no. Nelly, Nacho is one handsome man. Absolutely, he is. And yes. Sylvia says, isn't it interesting that some of the takeaway wasn't about how Meghan was treated by her father? Nope. So how could she abandon her father? How could she? How could she? So many people think it's weird that her black family isn't talking. No, it's not. They just respect her. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that part of it as well, including her other friends. I mean, other than Serena and Misan were the only two black friends that spoke. And again, she has, Danita, I think, is also mixed race. And she has a bunch of other friends that could have spoken, but the ones that chose, and again, they specifically, I think, other than Misan, specifically chose people who you don't normally see speaking up. You don't see quoted in the press. I mean, they may promote some stuff on their social media, whatever, but some of the people that she chose was like her former PA. And I think that was specific because obviously we know that in Kensington Palace, they keep saying that it's the PA that, Meghan bully. And so it's interesting to see her former PA spoke, and her school friends that she had in school, like Genevieve or, and stuff like that. They were her school friends that spoke. So, look, there are people that even though they're friends, they really are private people and don't want their family lives to be in the tabloid press because we all know what the press is like, And so again, I don't know what Meghan's relationship with the Doria side of the family. I don't know how close they are. I know one of her uncles leaked a bunch of her private photos to I think it was actually the Daily Mail. So I don't know what her relationship with is with that side of the family. So I couldn't speak on that. Yeah, and again, the only people other that she for family is that she had speak for her is her niece. And obviously she spoke about her father and her sister, but it was only immediate family, not the outer family. So yeah, but yeah. um but I mean, I could see how it could be. It's like, okay, does she have black friends? Does she have, I can understand why people would ask that. And, so yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Again, it's a hard thing to put your life out there knowing that tabloids might be going through your trash or going and trying to pay off family members to do all that stuff. And a lot of things too, she might just be protecting them. We don't want you here because they will come and try to destroy your life. Look at them, paparazzi making Doria feel so unsafe, following her and trying to pay her money to talk against her daughter. I mean, yeah, you don't want that for your family. So look how long it's taken Doria to even speak. So yeah. Um Lydia says Ashley Hale is 37 and she and Megan are contemporaries. Noelle is young in her early 20s. Wait, who is Noel? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. So Ashley is 30. Oh wow. I don't know. First time, other than that little video I saw like quite a while ago, I didn't know anything about her. So okay. Um, Very interesting. I love these pictures. Let's see what else I have. Another thing that I had here. Hang on one second. This is about Daria. Okay, so Lydia, I'm going to take you out of here. Let me just take, where is it? So that I can go ahead and read this. Lydia, I can't find you. You are in here and you're on up, and I can't find it, so I can take it off so I can read the article. So anyways, I'm going to click on something else and hope to get it off. So yeah. Hope's Garden says, do the tabloids media think that H&M titles is what makes them relevant? Yes. They and many others in, well, I don't even think the tabloid media don't care, about any of this stuff. They do not care about the royal family. They don't care about any of that stuff. For them, it's not a matter of if they care. It's just that they can make money. This is their business, and that's all. They do not care about the royal family. We know that because look at the press coverage when the Queen died. All they were talking about is the nonsense and attacking the Sussexes. They don't care about the Queen, no matter how much they claim, like, oh, you're attacking our Queen or you're making our Queen, whatever. It's just a tabloid nonsense to make money. They don't care. They don't care about the people. They don't care about they don't even care about the topic they're writing about. You'll see these nonsense article about Meghan wearing white and all this nonsense. All that is there for is so that people will click and they will make advertiser money. That is all that's there for. So no, they don't care. So they don't care whether Prince Charles takes the title or don't take the title. If he doesn't take the title for like another year, that will give them another year of content of saying, take the title, take the title, take the title. If he takes the title, to give them another year of content to be like, see, good, they take the, I mean, they don't care. It doesn't matter to them. All that matters to them is that they have content to write so that they can make money off of that. So, and they know that there are gullible people in the UK who would really think that they actually care about this, and they would invest their time screaming on Twitter and other social media platforms and just literally being boring about taking a stupid title. It's like nobody cares. Absolutely nobody cares. And so there's this article. Oh, look at Doria. She just, I mean, how old is Doria? This is Meghan's mom. I'm telling you, black really don't crack. But anyway, so the Independent wrote this on basically they should just quoting different responses to Daria finally being able to speak about her feelings about what happened to Meghan. And so the Independent says Harry and Meghan viewers are celebrating, me included, finally getting her celebrating Mama Doria. Finally getting her voice heard, hearing her viewpoint. The story is one of the highlights of Harry and Meghan Netflix, wrote one viewer. Bless Doria, Ragland posted another. She has been silent through this entire period, never spoke publicly, stood by her child, and this is the first and most likely only time she sat down for an interview. And the third posted, the Harry and Meghan Netflix doc has reaffirmed my love for Doria Ragland. And the fourth says, episodes 1 to 3 of Harry and Meghan is fantastic. Love seeing how they met, their friends, and Mama Doria speaking out about their experiences in Harry and Meghan's journey. Heartwarming, and I feel for Harry and Meghan and what they went through. And I think this is like collectively, I think the majority of us who, even if you have a passing interest only in this, I feel like, people are just happy to hear, as with, anyone who has kids, any mother, to sit and not be able to say, and I'm sure a lot of it is Meghan trying to protect her mom, and protect her because, again, she was being stalked. And for her own safety, her own privacy, and how difficult it must have been, especially seeing what her ex-husband did to Meghan and is still doing, and so and his daughter. And so, yeah, I think we all had that collective feeling of, wow, this is so wonderful for her to be able to. And I expect to hear from her in the second part as well, because, what it must have been like when Meghan was going through her mental trauma and what that was all about. So I expect to hear from her as well. So, yeah, it's just absolutely wonderful. Let's see. Senowin says, we like Harry and Meghan for the people. They are not titles. They are not the titles they were. Yeah. They're, some people are all about that. Guys, wasn't it funny? Like on the night, a couple of nights ago when Harry and Meghan were in New York, that not apparently, but it actually happened in the UK. They were doing some kind of I don't know if it's a state dinner or some kind of thing, and they were all decked out in their tiaras and all of that thing. And you would think there they are, the queen consort and the future or the futures now, and the king, and they're having this banquet for whomever and whatever they're doing. And you would think, right, people who have these titles and all of these things, that they would be on the front pages of their newspaper. They would be what everybody is talking about. And yet, come to find out, and I'm sure you guys must have heard, reporters literally left the UK, flew to New York just to be able to get a glimpse of Harry and Meghan. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? You have your people that your monarchy is support. I mean, like, the reason your monarchy is shaky is because you're the ones that's supposed to be propping them up. Your focus, instead of helping to build them up, your focus has been on the Sussexes. Because why are you flying to the US to see Harry and Meghan? And sure enough, Carly Ledbetter posted a video. It was very hilarious with this British person. I don't know who it was, and I think it was Jan Moyer, who is the one that flew to New York to see Harry and Meghan. I'm like, you guys are so pathetic. It would be funny if it was her voice on Kari's on Carly's video saying, "Oh wow, I can't believe I see Meghan Markle in person or something, and it's a British person." And so it is just really hilarious, and everybody was laughing because it's kind of like, yeah, y'all are sitting there trying to destroy them, but really in private, you're fangirls. It's so funny. It is just hilarious. Let's see. Anne Fu, hi Anne. Anne says they can take the titles, and the hero Harry and Meghan will continue to rise and rise. If God is for you, yep, no man can be against you. Exactly. They could take the titles. It's like you're hinting and hinting, not hinting, the screaming and screaming and screaming about stupid titles. Take the stupid titles and be done with it. So yeah. Official Lauren Brown says Doria was everything for me. Yes, definitely Doria. What did you guys think? Also, apart from Doria, about the experts on race issue like Afua and the others talking about colonialism and the slave trade and all of that stuff. What did you guys think about that? I think that was really strong. And again, I really love the fact that Harry and Meghan, instead of talking about themselves, sometimes how there's sometimes you hear that when you hear something from one person, it impacts you in one way, and then someone else says it and you're like really irritated, and it all figuring out best who really want to hear what you have to say and how best it will help them. And I think this was so thoughtfully done in the fact that they could have beat it over the head again. It's about the royal family and institutional racism and all of that stuff. But I love the fact that they left it to experts because they used it as a teachable moment, something to teach. Because I literally heard someone in the not heard but saw a tweet, and the person was like, "Oh my goodness, that was so educational. I didn't realize that during the slave trade, this the what is it, the African, oh goodness, the African, I forgot the name of the ship that was called, that was transporting slaves. They didn't realize that they transported more slaves than American or something like that, she was saying. And so she felt like it was such an educational thing to learn. And a lot of people probably are learning for the first time that again, this documentary wasn't targeted to Brits. If you notice, like how they did it and how they explained what the rota is and how they explained Meghan's family tree and how they explain, and they put it there on the screen. Again, this wasn't directed for the Brits, weren't their audience in this. This is for people who don't understand the inner workings of the royal family and how they deal with the press and all of that stuff. And people who just didn't know about the UK and the royal family's history in colonialism and the slave trade and all of that stuff. I love how they did that because again, the UK was not their audience, and partly, I mean, the most part it wasn't, but I'm sure a lot of people need to learn some history themselves. So there you go. Let's see. Session says, cookies and cream, Arian Bobby has to be unbiased because she's looking to be on another US network. Oh, you mean Apartheid Bobby we're talking about? I heard her voice on the documentary. I actually heard her voice. She is one of the talking heads. Well, her voice, actually, not her. And also Chris Ship. They use clips of Chris Ship as well. I'm sure he's probably feeling a bit of, I got some clout. See, I'm on Harry and Meghan's documentary. Very funny. Let's see. Black Queen says, are we talking about Robert Jobson on CNN trying to minimize and disparage docuseries? He just came off bitter as always. I was like, dude, you better calm down. You'll give yourself a heart attack or something. This guy, from the moment he heard about Harry's book, he has been falling off of a cliff about this. It's just like, and and one of the reasons I believe that Robert Jobson has been doing that, because I am sure Robert Jobson has started writing that Harry at 40 book. And he is angry because his book is not going to mean anything. And because he has been nonstop, relentlessly, attacking Harry and this first the book, now the docuseries. He has just been, it's just been like, dude. And so what is happening there. He's losing money. He'll lose money because his book would be of no value. And so that is the reason I think Robert Jobson is doing what he's doing. And I don't, again, American networks being lazy with who they talk to and who they come to do commentary. Unbelievable. Joy says, Lone Heckler was from ITV. The Mail sent Jan, moi, and and there was another man that was reporting. Well, I was there, and it's so funny because after, and I'll show you my little video from there. Let's just say I suck at being a paparazzi. This is my second time being a paparazzi, and I literally suck. I will never give up my day job or my passion for photography and keep it at that and not try to be a paparazzi the next time. But yes, there was a lone heckler, but it's so funny because at the end, right after they went in, when the heckler was there, and I was actually standing with a group of ITV camera people and one of their reporters. One of their reporters actually there's a clip of him doing his report that night. So I was standing right there, and I literally said to them, I was like, you're going to use that clip of that sound guy as your only thing, right? And he's like, well, no, we're going to cut that out, but we might just show it as balance because and so I was like, that guy was a total plant. And so the reporter guy, and they were like, yeah, he was totally planted. I don't know that was at ITV. If I would have guessed, I would have guessed the Daily Mail. I did see one of the Daily Mail, their photographer was there. I don't know. I'm assuming Daily Mail reporters were there also. I couldn't differentiate which one was them, but I did see the Daily Mail camera guy who's kind of scowled at me. And then I got into a kind of an argument with the London Times reporter who was just, so it's so funny at the end. She's like, well, a pleasure to meet you. And I was like, it was not a pleasure meeting you. I was like, we parted, and at the end, we somehow came back together. And so we were a little more pleasant. And I was like, yes, I was very passionate about what I said. But her ignorance about Meghan was so infuriating. And I basically called her a liar and a racist. And so she was not happy, and neither was I. And she told this other reporter that I was not nice to her. So I wasn't. And so that's why at the end I was like, so we kind of like agree. We left it as we'll agree to disagree, basically. And so, but it was just very, very infuriating, that whole experience. I'm like, you are so ignorant. How are you writing and you know nothing about her? And I really had to, and so I was telling, she was saying, look at, we were talking about the things that she does with One Young World. And I'm sorry, I'm sort of going off into a tangent here, but we were talking about that. And then, we got on Meghan's speech at the last One Young World. And she was like, well, but the speech was all about her. Everything was about her. I was like, you were not the audience. She was not speaking to you. And that's kind of when our argument kind of escalated. I'm like, you're not the audience. She was speaking to people there who were in the same situation now that she was in when she started. And it almost like took her back, like she never thought about the fact that she was not the audience Meghan was speaking to. And I'm like, did you go back and look at the response to that speech from the people? And she hadn't. And I'm like, if you went back on Twitter and saw the response from the people who this message was to, you would see they accepted and they understood the message because the message was for them, not for you. So that's kind of when our whole conversation kind of took a really bad turn. So anyways, yep, that was my experience with a royal reporter. It was not good. So anyway, moving on. So, and I had to learn, and I later on I had to think it's like, okay, probably need to calm down a little bit and not get so irritated when people do stuff like that. But in those moments, I don't know, I was passionate. So yeah. For me, I can't understand, like, if you are a reporter and and then even when she said, because she's the one that came up to me. And so I'm like, oh, you're a reporter, right? And so she's like, yeah. And so I'm like, well, where are you from? And she's like, oh, I'm with the Times in London. I was like, oh, you're a Rupert Murdoch tabloid. And she kind of like wanting to hide the fact that the Times is a I mean, people, of course, it's like, no, it's not a tabloid, whatever. But I'm like, if Rupert Murdoch owns your paper, you're a tabloid. You're a glorified tabloid. And so she wanted to hide it. And I'm like, no, Rupert Murdoch owns you. You're a tabloid. And so finally she acknowledged that, yes, you were owned by Rupert. I was like, I know who you are. And then this woman literally stood there and told me like, oh, no, Meghan was loved. The press was. I was just like, look. I was just so irritated. And so I was like, okay. Anyways, moving on. Okay, HI said, oh God. HI says you did the right thing. You needed to let her know that M&H have ride or die fans that believe in them and what they're doing. Yeah, it was just like, and the way she talked about Harry, oh, he's just basically, in her mind, Harry is nothing, and Meghan was nothing before she met Harry. I mean, it was just like the most, you know that they're thinking, but it's really, really shocking when they literally to your face completely dismissed Meghan's past. And for her, the only thing she knew about Meghan was that she was an actress. That's it. She knew nothing else. And I was just like, are you serious? And so that's how we got on the One Young World thing. And by then I was so irritated and frustrated. I was just like, look. And then she, of course, didn't like me calling them racist. So that didn't go down well. So there you go. So, anyways. Mrs. S says, Panel, you're like the little engine that could. I imagine you're going up to these people and putting your hand akimbo and giving them a vile giving those vile cretins. Yeah, it was kind of like, I mean, my hand wasn't akimbo, but it was kind of like that. So let's see. Faye Christie said, do you think Piers Morgan ever went for a drink with Meghan? Who knows? Who knows if that's true? I mean, Meghan has not said no. I mean, there are a lot of people that says they don't think so, because Piers Morgan, if when he meets up with people, he will usually post a picture. Post a picture or something. But he might just be holding on to, if they went to dinner or a drink, or I think he said they went for a drink or something, and so he might just be holding it for, if Meghan ever says anything about it, or if she ever acknowledges it, he might post it. So that could be a thing too, if that does exist. I don't know. Meghan has never addressed it, so who knows? Maybe she'll address it here. I hope. So, but again, with stuff, people like Piers Morgan or Dan Wooten, your best course of action, if you are on the receiving end of their, vitriol, is because they're looking for attention. They're looking for clout. And if you mention them, it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, that just gives them clout. And they love that. It's kind of like how Donald Trump is. They're narcissists. So it's kind of like that'll just feed the narcissism. What narcissists hate is lack of attention. And so when you don't give them anything to feed on, they will, eventually go off to something else. It's just like a feeding frenzy for them. So whether Meghan says anything or not, we'll see. But he might just be holding on to that. So if she says anything, he could drop it and be like, see, look at us. That's kind of how these people are. So yeah. Let's see. Joy says, I like the way you were teaching this reporter, so don't feel bad about telling her about herself. Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of felt because a lot of times I feel like, I could be very, very blunt, and I know that about myself. So a lot of times I want to come off in like, okay, if I'm teaching someone something, I want to be able to teach it in a way that they will get it. But there are times I was just irritated, and I was just, for me, I just, yeah, the irritation was just at a 100,000. And I think, so yeah, it just, yeah. And plus it was raining. It was so wet, and it was raining, and I was cold, and well, not freezing, but cold and wet, and just like, ooh, I was not in the best of spaces there. And just, that was just irritating. Let's see. Um, Scrolling up. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Black Queen. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. She's like, yes, my little warrior queen. You stand up for for what's right against evil bullies. Don't ever feel bad for speaking up out of your comfort zone. We love and appreciate what you do. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's always a lesson for me, speaking the truth in love. The in love part that I always forget in those moments. And so yeah. Dolores says Piers Morgan did have a drink with Meghan. Okay, so Dolores, I don't know, other than what Piers Morgan says, do you know where I could find the evidence of it? Because the only thing I know is what he says. So I've never heard any corroboration, anybody else who may have been there, who saw them, whatever. Only thing I have is what he says. So if you do have any other information, so please pass on. That would be great. Let's see. Tanya says, or PM could have been where Meghan was and took a picture. It could not actually mean he had a drink with her. That could be it too. But I mean, at that time, when that whole time was going on, to be fair, he and Meghan were communicating. Like, he followed her and she followed him back, and they were communicating. And there was a post from Meghan. He again revealed her private either text or however they communicated, may have been on Twitter, going back and forth. And she said, I'm going to be in London. And so they did have a communication there. That obviously that was before any of this stuff. And so she was coming in to do press for her show. So even if they did have, that was, that's where they were at the time. It was after she went out with Harry and then completely stopped in any communication with him that things went sour. But before that, they did have a communication, because actually in one of her, I think it was via Twitter they did it. She did say that she admired him or something to that effect. So she actually liked Piers Morgan at that time, or at least his work or whatever it is, she admired. So yeah, so they did have that. So I'm not going to say that didn't happen, but because according to her own, tweet or whatever, that's what it said, and that he released. So yeah. So but whether they have a drink or not, I don't know. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Rootsy. She says, thank you for setting up the London newspaper. I love it, and I'm laughing and thinking if what Barron's gonna say. Oh no, Barron's probably gonna mock me again. Oh, thank you, Rootsy. I appreciate your donations. Like, well done, Battle. Thank you for being passionate. I love it. I can't wait to hear what. Oh, this is the same one. Yeah, thank you. I very much appreciate it. Joy says P. Morgan was in a morning show. Why would not take a picture of that meeting to show? He was on Twitter and is a lot of suits. He was on Twitter is a lot of the suit staff. Okay, I'm not sure I quite understand what you're saying, Joyce. But he actually was following a bunch of suits. I think what it is, Piers Morgan was totally in love with Meghan, and even though he's married, and so there you go. And yeah, he's just one of those narcissistic people that if you diss him, he feels like it's his right to destroy you, and that's where he is. So yeah. Sylvia says there are no pictures of him having drinks with Meghan. That is a dialogue where he spoke with the reporter right before the wedding, and they were supposedly at the table that Meghan sat. Yeah, I saw that. I absolutely saw that. But again, what I'm saying is I don't know. I can't speak for what I don't know. I don't know what Meghan has, what he has. I have no idea. People could hold on to things for special, for or hold on to their receipts so they can drop it, especially so the situation if Meghan's like, oh no, we hadn't met, and then he could be like, see, you're a liar, here's a picture, you know what I mean? People do crap like that. They do stuff like that all the time. So I don't know, unless I hear it from Meghan that they didn't. So yeah, who knows? But for me, I get, again, that for me is neither here nor there, because again, where they were in, not they had a relationship, but they had a connection there, and she even said in their Twitter thing to message to him is that she was coming in, and so she let him know that she was coming to his country. So if they had a, for me, that is neither here nor there, honestly, because that's where they were in, at that time. So if someone is coming in and it's like, oh, I'm coming in, the natural tendency would be like, oh, well, let's hang out and have dinner or something, let's have a drink or something. That for me is a natural thing, because obviously this animosity that he has been showing to Meghan since then wasn't there at the time. So for me, it's just a natural thing. So whether he has a picture or not, for me at that time, it's neither here nor there, because the relationship or whatever connection they have was in a completely different place, and it would stand to reason it would be a normal thing if that were to happen. So yeah. Let's see. Okay, Joyce is saying, I would think he would have already shown the picture if there was one. There was no relationship with this man. Oh, okay. See, we all think differently about it. So that's totally fine. That is absolutely totally fine. Dara says, hi everyone. It wasn't personal, and it was part of the Suits fan, and the cast would do a meet and greet with what they considered super fans. So like with 3 million followers, no more contact once closed. Okay, there you go. And Meghan was always very, very, friendly with fans. They always talk about she would be the one that would always be taking pictures with fans and all of that stuff. So yeah, like when they're on set or fans come and are watching them, she's the one that would really engage with the people around them. So she's like that with just about everyone. So yeah. Hello, Kay. Welcome. She's like sneaking to listen here and there while I went, oh, okay. Don't get caught, but I'm happy you're here. So let's move on. Let's see what else I got. Oh my goodness. Weren't you guys just happy to see this clip? I don't know. I know I was. I'm so happy that Prince Harry, and I was really hoping that he would address the situation with the BBC and Prince Charles and King Charles and King William. I can't speak anymore. King Charles and Prince William and the BBC, basically silencing Princess Diana by hiding away or locking her documentary, the Panorama documentary, in a vault where apparently no one else is ever supposed to show this documentary. Because, Princess Diana was, mentally unstable, and she was, deceived, and therefore everything she says was not the truth, and then she only said what she said because she was deceived. And so I was just so happy to see Prince Harry just really stick up for his mother and acknowledging where nobody is condoning what Martin Bashir did. Nobody is condoning his deceit in the way he got the interview. But everything she said has nothing to do with literally what Princess Diana said. Every single thing this woman said was the truth. Nothing she said was a lie. So then I don't understand what they're, again, to change the narrative and rewrite history. Other than that, that's the only reason why they want to lock away this documentary. And I am so happy Prince Harry pulled that documentary out and played it. And I don't know where he got the right, if BBC just sort of waived it, and gave him the rights to do it, or if he had a copy and just did it anyway. It's like, sue me. That's my mother. Sue me if whatever. I don't know how they were able to do it. But I am just really, really happy to see him stand up for his mother and said, yes, we know what he did was, wrong, the way he got the interview. But this was my mother's she was being truthful about the life she lived and therefore had a right to speak, And so I'm like, I hope, I really hope that I could hear that there were plates flying across Kensington Palace or, whichever house William lives at. I really hope to hear someday the sound of the plates and the cups and everything else flying across the room from Mr. Incandescent with rage, because he wouldn't be happy, because this is completely in defiance of him and Prince and King Charles. And I love it. I love how Harry and Meghan are like, okay, we're just going to do what we want to do. We're going to stand up and stick up for Princess Diana. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I would be all about, this is me being petty, would have been really, really, really happy if he really would have called out his father and brother for what they did. I would have been really happy to hear him and call on the BBC to release that so that documentary isn't hidden away. I would have loved that challenge. I would have loved to hear him do it. But again, I'm petty, so there. So there. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Oh, Terry says, it was so good to hear Harry address the Bashir interview, and was glad that his mother was able to speak her experience. Yeah, because, the funny thing is a lot of British reporters have been lying that Prince Harry was in agreement, that his statement was somehow in agreement with the stance that William and Charles have done in locking away this documentary. And it's funny, I haven't heard many reporters report on this. I think a lot of them know, it was wrong, including Robert Jobson, who changed his tune the minute he was writing William is 40, So, but I would have been really right there with Harry calling this whole mess out. So yeah. Let's see. Emerald says, regardless of how the interview was obtained, she spoke her truth. Thanks, Harry, for speaking up for his mother. Exactly. I love it. Okay, Church Nelly is Church Nelly is like, people, let it go. No more talking about that person, please. Okay, Church Nelly, no more talking about that person. I get it. Thank you. Church Nelly is like, stop talking. Got it, Church Nelly. I won't talk about him anymore. Toya says, could it be that the Panorama interview was included before they locked it away? That could be the truth as well. They could have gotten the rights to it right away and before they locked it. So that's definitely could be true. Yep. That most likely is what happened. But I also like the idea of Harry just defying them. I don't know. I really like that idea. Harry is like, I'm going to play it, sue me. I love it. H-Night says they can't dog out Diana out because they realize she's still loved by Americans. Kerry Kennedy just gave Harry a framed picture of her the other day. Yeah, actually, I have a picture of that. Hang on one second. Let me find that picture. It's so funny. I have this entire thing that this entire show that I did when for Wednesday that I haven't even done because I had to just I was not in the frame of mind. But here's the picture of Carrie Kennedy giving Harry and Meghan that picture of Princess Diana, and it's so wild because in South Africa, that was presented to him as well. So it's just like now he has two pictures of Princess Diana. Um, of course, you know, those in Shutter Island are screaming like, "You're trying to co-opt your mother's memory. What about William?" And they're like, "Oh, Harry's trying to cloak himself in his mother's memory or whatever." I'm like, it's his mother. If he wants to sit there, bathe, cloak, whatever he needs to do in his mother's memory, it's his mother. What does that have to do with you? What exactly does that have to do with you? So there you go. And it's so wild how some royal reporters talk and how they behave. Some of them behave like they are part of the royal family. Like these people are so deluded. It is not funny. It's just amazing to me. Amazing. Let's see. So let me get rid of this and go back to, because I wanted to talk about something else. Oh, I love this. I love this. H9, I'm going to take you out of there for a second. There you go. I'm going to remove myself. But that picture on the left, it's so funny because there was this, Meghan talked about meeting Kate for the first time, and she was home and she was in ripped jeans and bare feet. And then, you know, it was kind of this stiff thing because, you know, I guess Kate and William are very formal, even away from, you know, the public. And she was in bare feet. And some people were like, how dare she be in bare feet to meet them? And they were having an issue. And I was like, these people really don't know who Harry is. How many times have we shown picture of Harry in the US and he is bare feet? I mean, polo, he's bare feet. You know, even the picture, the beautiful picture of all of them for Christmas with baby Lily first picture, Harry and Archie are bare feet. They're always bare feet. I'm like, y'all really don't know these people at all. And here Harry's in this picture. And I'm assuming this is Meghan doing her nails. And I'm assuming this is the morning before this event. This was one of their final, I think, second to last event at the royal in Buckingham Palace when they were there. And we see this picture, and this is the same outfit she's doing. So maybe I'm assuming this is maybe right before they went to that event, because it's the same clothes that they were wearing. It's like, oh, this is cool. So I'm assuming this is their kitchen at Frogmore. So it's like, oh, cool. It might be where Meghan was sitting when there was a picture of them kissing, one of the first pictures we got on this. So it's just like a little bit of background there, but it's very interesting. And people like, I can't believe she was bare feet. And I was like, y'all seem to not know Prince Harry at all. Even in the cut interview, the reporter talked about Harry being bare feet. He just loves being bare feet. And I think Meghan, I think that's their vibe. I mean, that's their California vibe. They are always bare feet. So there you go. Also, this picture, I was like, oh, Harry's reading to baby Lilibet and Archie. That is so cool. That is just so beautiful. I'm like, and I know it's funny, even though they've shown like a lot of photos that, you know, and a lot of it with Archie now at this age now, if you notice that they only show the back of his head or his side, they don't show the full frontal face to hide, because you know how kids, their face change over time. So I'm glad, I like how they do that, because now you won't be able to recognize him. Even if you see these pictures, you won't be able to recognize him because by now he looks very different. So, but I just thought that was very interesting. Also, there's this article, and you know, Aisha, she always she really is a great when she's on like GMB or whatever, she's always that voice of reason, that voice, you know. And plus she also supports the Sussexes as well, but she always brings, and she's not like, even though she supports them, she's very fair. She's not someone who's like, okay, I support them so I hate the monarchy or whatever, you know. So she's not like me. In other words, she's not petty. And so she wrote this article at iNews UK. And so a little bit about the article, and I'm just going to read it here. I'm just going to take my brand name off there so I can read it. There we go. Hang on one second. That there. Okay, here we go. It says some thoughts about for the I paper on Harry and Meghan on Netflix. They may be the new Brexit, but they speak uncomfortable truths about the palace, press, and society. Despite all the vitriol they get, history will judge them well for calling it out. And part of the article is not very long, but I'll put a link to the show notes if you want to read the whole thing. It says the story about race, the story of race here is bigger than just their experience. Their personal story collided with big, powerful, uncomfortable shifting currents in society, exploring race, belonging, identity, Brexit, history, slavery, and reassessing empire at the heart of which lay the royal family. The fact that a woman of color bagged Harry was a shock, but people were just about prepared to live with it. But the fact that she wouldn't be eternally grateful for being allowed in, quote unquote, that she had agency, opinions, and push back against all these treasured traditions, sent some people into a meltdown. How dare she? Who does she think she was? She was punished. She was and continues to be. The Sussexes' defiance and their fight back against the press and palace represents the wider culture wars that we see being waged. It comes down to people who want to preserve the past and those who live in the present and look to the future. You may hate them, you may find them deeply annoying, you may think they are attention seeking, but they're right about a lot of important things. We can see from recent census figures how Britain is changing. There's clearly structural racism and unconscious bias at the palace, as Ngozi Fulani found out recently. Conversations about Britain's past are not going away, no matter how much you screech. Why do you hate this country at people? So that references to one of the tabloids screaming at Harry, like on Meghan, like, why do you hate the country? And so, yeah, so she's like, no matter how much you scream about it, what they're saying is right. And they have the gumption and the gall, or not the gall, but the the strength and the courage to speak up about it, instead of Meghan being like, oh, I'm so grateful you let me in, So there you go. So I really appreciated that article, that's talking about that, and she's so right. And again, it goes back to people who care and whose life is all about, oh my goodness, I just want to keep my title, and people like that won't rock the boat. That's why in my heart I'm hoping that one of those people in the that they will show some courage and speak out. Who knows? But yeah, people like this, who do the things that Harry and Meghan do and say and speak up about things, they're not here for titles. That's not their thing. That's not the thing that's not what they're about. If they were sitting there, oh my gosh, I got to protect my title, then they would never speak up. They would never want to rock the boat. So again, that's why that makes that whole narrative just boring. It's just like, just stop. You just look stupid, Anyways, if you're wondering what the British press looks like, yeah, this is kind of it. I mean, a little portion of it, along with the Daily Mail's 18 pages. I dare not even try to look at that. That is just ridiculous. And so one of our squaddies posted it's the UK newspapers today, all so that the plebes can forget there's a cost of living crisis. Here's Meghan and Harry and Meghan for you to obsess over. Yeah. So when people obsessing over this, they'll forget that they need heat. They'll forget that they don't have food in their refrigerators. They can forget they can't feed their families. They can't, they don't have enough money to put coats on their bodies so that they can keep warm. Let's just keep, feeding on Meghan and hating this multimillionaire who lives in California who doesn't even know who you are. Let's just keep hating her. And hating Harry, and I mean, look at some of the headlines. It just is ridiculous. And also too, which I actually forgot to bring in stuff about it. It's just the palace's lack of response when, daily. And I love that. I absolutely love that Netflix put the disclaimer thing at the front, that the palaces, William and Kate and Charles and Camilla, they were approached for comments and they declined. And then, of course, the palace lies, which they always do. We saw them lie about, oh, we spoke to Ngozi Fulani and we're going to meet up. And Ngozi was like, no, I never spoke to anybody. Nobody called me. And again, they were like, no, but we were trying. It's like, she's like, nobody called me. Oh, well, okay, well, we're trying to contact her and we're looking to see if we'll meet. And it's just like lies upon lies upon lies. So nobody is surprised that the palace lied about being contacted. And of course, when Netflix was like, we contacted the Duke and Duchess of, the Prince and Princess of Wales's household, we contacted Prince Charles. Then they were like, oh yeah, we got that email that we didn't know if it, and it was just lies, absolute lies. Once again, lying, So Joyce is like, the palace caught in lie, and yeah, that lie too. Yes, they were caught in a lie once again, So yeah, it just. And it's funny. They were all looking for truth bombs. They were looking for attacks. They were looking, and this is like the mildest, absolutely the mildest documentary you can absolutely think of. So they somehow, and I'm sure a lot of this stuff, that this crazy headlines, were written long before anybody even saw the documentary. And they just have to come in and fill in and try to, twist things to try to make it fit in to these crazy headlines. It's just, And again, you see the one at the bottom right. It's like, royals don't marry for love. And you see a picture of Prince William and Kate. And again, if William and Kate were happy, why would they be the natural one you think of? Why would their picture be there? One would think Harry is talking about his mother and father, But no, they jump straight to the two who they've been trying to convince people are happily married. Unbelievable. Anyway, Denise Wells says the media can't stand that they can't control Harry and Meghan, which is this whole thing. I've championed them for years and will continue to do so. They are a beautiful couple who have used their separate platforms to help those with mental health issues. Meghan has used her voice since childhood, and she's like, yeah, hand clap. And I'm right there with Denise. I mean, that's the thing. The British press are used to controlling people, and finally they found two people not only they cannot control, but who will do a whole 6-part documentary that will call them out and let the world know how racist and vile they are. And they've never encountered this. They're used to deference. They're used to people cowering to them, and they're just not getting it. And so there you go. Oh my goodness. So let's actually, yeah. So I did. We have all seen these beautiful pictures. We've all seen this. Oh my goodness. And again, this what I want to talk about Wednesday and couldn't, but I cannot get over this. And I know you guys have talked about it forever. So moving away from the docuseries for a second, this has been like the most amazing. The dress, the look, the whole bit, and it's amazing what some photographers were able to get. It was like literally from the time Harry got Meghan from the car to the moment they walked in, it was like a matter of seconds. Because the sidewalk where they got off is so close to the entrance. It's like right there, and of course it was raining. So you're trying to even walk faster, and it was just like, oh my goodness. Just the beauty of that is just amazing. So before I do, thank you so much, Legs. I appreciate you. Appreciate your donation. It says they also want people to forget about Ngozi. Also, they need to pick a lane. M&H are poor. M&H are millionaires. How dare they with the cost of living? M&H are in the US, focus on the UK royals. I know, if we focus on M&H's money, we don't have to focus on the fact that our own royals are robbing us blind. Oh, yeah, let's not focus on that part at all. Let's focus on two people who are not taking money from us, of course. And you know, they're gullible people, will they will do exactly that. Um but anyways, so as I told you guys, I went there for because I wanted to be the pap for the day. I wanted to, because the last time I tried to take Harry and Meghan's photo, all I got was that red blur that I shared in one of the episodes last year when they were at the Intrepid. And so this time I came prepared. The thing that I wasn't prepared for was the rain, and my camera, I couldn't pull it out in the rain because, well, I don't have money to buy a new camera right now. So I use my phone. And so I was trying, I was like, okay, I'm going to get it. The only problem is when we got there, where they were, they had so many entrances that literally not even the press outside knew which entrance that they were going to be going. So finally, we narrowed it down to two entrances. So we were kind of going back and forth between the two. They weren't very far from each other, but we're kind of going back and forth between the two because cars were in both places, the entrance where I was and then the other entrance. And to top it all off, Barack Obama was apparently at an event literally right across the street, at the theater right across the street. And so there were all this Secret Service stuff and cars coming in there, and then we were waiting for the Sussex's car to arrive, and so nobody knew exactly where they were. And you would see sometimes reporters running across the street because a car stopped over there. And it was just a madness all around, all of this happening in the rain. And so we're wet, we're tired, and we're just trying to get to see Harry and Meghan. So finally, I'm at the other entrance, heard the big noise, trying to run over to the other entrance where they actually came. And then, of course, there are tons of, not like tons and tons, but quite a lot of people that were there. And so I couldn't get in the front where I really wanted to be because I was at the other entrance and I should have stayed at the other. And it was just madness. So I ran up with my phone, and I'm hoping my computer plays this and it doesn't freeze. And if it does, I'm going to upload it onto the site so you can actually see my horribleness. Let's just say nobody will ever hire me as a pop, ever. In any sense, I wouldn't hire me as a pop. So this is what I saw. And the beginning is the entrance when they came in, and the end is when they left at the end. Again, it was raining and a mess. So here we go.
That was my phone, I think. Thank you.
Harry, over here. Meghan.
She's going to royal family.
Love you, Meghan! Love you! I'm Meghan and Harry.
Thank you, guys.
Oh. I don't know if I got them. Did you get them?
I didn't get it. I was too busy talking.
Aww. Can I say hi? I don't know if I got them. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Say
Well,
hi.
that's good.
Hi. Oh, she waved. I saw her wave.
And that was my entire that was me being a pap. I'm telling you, I am horrible. That was just, the only thing I had to say, well, it wasn't a blur. That's the only thing I had to say. It was like, okay, the last time I got a blur, this time I got their head in the beginning, the little, just, you blink and you missed it. And then the end, I completely forgot I was saying hi, Meghan and Harry, and then my umbrella came down and blocked the whole thing when they were walking to the car. And it was just like, oh my gosh, it was just like, I stood there for all that time, got soaked, And I still didn't get it. I still didn't get it. And you can hear me at the end moaning like, I didn't get it. I don't think I got it. And I was like, this is terrible. But I did see her hand waving. So I was just like, well, okay, at least she waved. And so, Joyce is like, Jennifer's like, I could hear you shouting, Petal, you did. I'm like, I suck at that being a paparazzi. I'm like, and I was so prepared too. And I was just like, oh man. Yes, it was raining. I was soaked. My boots were soaked, my socks were soaked, everything was soaked. And and it's so funny because at the end, we were waiting. It was just us. I mean, it was raining so much, like people just went home. Because when I realized, like the beginning, I just the video was just like, I got like a second just at the just before they got into the door. I was like, okay, I'll wait till the end and I'll see if I can get a better shot. And then I was saying hi and I didn't realize I wasn't really recording them, and I was recording my umbrella. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, so there ends my paparazzi thing. I'm just not going to do that again. That's just ridiculous. But it was great to see them. It was really great to see them. But, they're always holding hands. They were holding hands leaving. And, and it was so nice to see Harry, exactly what he does. He made sure she got in. He went around to the other side and got in the car, and then they went off. And it's so funny, just before they came out, the paparazzi, and I'm sorry, the security guy, because it was me and this other girl, you could hear her saying, like, oh, I didn't get it either. I was talking. And he was so nice. And it was raining so hard. He actually, because I had my umbrella and she just had a hoodie. And so he gave her an umbrella. He's like, yeah, we got a lot of these things, And so he gave, because they realized that we were like, yeah, we just want to say hi to them. And he was like, that's fine. And he even said, like, they're really, really nice people. And so we were like, yeah, we'll just stay back here. No, nobody wanted to, rush them or anything. We just wanted to say hi. And so they were really nice. It was just really nice. It was just raining. It was just miserable because of the rain. So yeah. But yeah, so that was my whole my whole Harry and Meghan experience. They're beautiful, just what we see. I mean, they're just beautiful and just it was just very, very calm. Other than, I'm sure you could hear at the beginning with the guy screaming, and that was the only person, and everyone else was like, Harry and Meghan. So yeah, there was no booing or any of that nonsense. There was just that guy. And even again, after they went in, and I was standing next to the ITV crew, it was just three guys, and then we were talking about that guy, and even they were like, yeah, we totally think he's a plant, which and again, probably just because I saw the Daily Mail camera guy earlier, I'm like, and I was thinking, I'm sure that guy was from the Daily Mail. I'm sure, but I don't know. I don't know where he's from. He was just, and he's just this angry guy on a bike that was just yelling and screaming. And he was a British guy as well. So that's why I thought probably the Daily Mail. But again, I don't have any confirmation on that. So yeah, he was the only one that said anything at all, other than when they were under the blue carpet, which you heard it, or you probably have seen in other newscasts, they were asking her about the documentary. But other than that, everyone was really nice. So yeah. Karen M said, I love that the crowd outspoke the heckler. Yeah, at the minute he said that, everyone started like, Harry and Meghan, because everyone there was supportive. People were just, and you know what, the thing that I learned there, and I did, again, my second time being a pap, is that because the moment I finished filming the first part of it, there were a lot of people there. Literally, one girl says, oh my gosh, I'm uploading this to TMZ or something. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I just assumed people would just, post it to the Instagram and all of that stuff. And no, people were sending that stuff to TMZ. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I don't know which outlet, uploaded their stuff first, because I was literally standing there when I got back to the other side under the awning. I was just like looking, and people had that posted all over already. I was like, oh my gosh, that was interesting. But one of the girls, let me see, I think I have a photo of it here. Hang on. One of the girls that was with us, she took this photo, and her name is Florencia Patino. Actually, I put Patina there, but this is the only photo that I had shared. And I shared it on our community page, and also, as you can see, shared it on Twitter. And so she was closer. She was at the front part of it, and I was at the back when I was doing my video. So she took this photo, Florencia, and so she allowed, she shared it with a bunch of us that were there, and so that we will also have a good picture of them. And so she's like, just give me credit. So thank you, Florencia, who was really wonderful. And she also shared a video with me. So I'll upload her video, but that video is not from me. That's from her. And I just told her that I would definitely give her credit because she's the one that took it. So thank you, Florencia. And she's really, 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 really nice. So she and her friend was there, and they were, they're not even fans of, say, Harry or Meghan. She was there for someone else that was a celebrity was there, and that's who she was a fan of, but she just happened to be there and she liked it, and so she gave me that picture. So thank you, Florencia, you were awesome. So I'll upload her video, but no, again, that's from her, not from me. So yeah, but it was really, really, it was fun. I was just disappointed. I was like, I was really hoping I would be a better paparazzi. And I was like, Petal, there are just some things they're not good at, and this will be one of those things. But yeah. Church Nelly says, I would have jumped on it. Well, yeah, again, yeah, I would be in jail right now. Well, you had to get past his security, and and again, they were all really kind, even with the guy who was, crazy. They were doing their job, and they were just all very calm. No, but other than that, and again, everyone was really nice and supportive. So yeah. Hope's Garden says, but I see more media parading the lie of Kate's pregnancy number 4 again. I wrote back on, oh really? So who's the father? Blocked. You are blocked. So she's pregnant? I didn't even say that. Oh, well, not surprising, of course. That it's so funny. Someone, I think it was either here or on Twitter, mentioned that they wouldn't be surprised if we hear word of that she is. But again, we saw her in that Earthshot mess the other day, and she might be and just not showing, but she's very not looking pregnant. But who knows? It may be in the early stage if that's true. Who knows? But I hadn't seen that, so very, very interesting. Joy says, Petal, thank you, but you have to keep your camera still. Yes, I do. The only problem is I was moving. I wasn't standing still. I was trying, because people were moving, and I was trying to get a better angle. And so the whole time you see, especially the first part, I was moving, trying to get a better angle, but from the car, as you can see from this picture, that's just when they left the car, and he held her hand and they left the car. They from the time they left there to get into the building, it was so quick that I was like, oh great, I should have stood, but I was trying to get a better angle, try to get closer to the front, and by the time I got anywhere, they had already gone in. So yes, Joyce, you are absolutely correct. And then the end, my umbrella got in the way, so I don't know. And I think that's what happens when you're, a fan of someone. You forget you're supposed to be filming, and you're looking at them instead of the camera. And it's like, it's the first time I was really seeing them in person. So it was just like, oh shoot, I forgot I was supposed to be a pap. Oh. So there. Terry says, Petal, she's like, I applaud you, Petal, for putting yourself out there. You're a true trooper. I'm maybe one day I'll try it again and see if I am just better at it. And it's just, I was really wanting to use my camera as my regular camera, but it was raining so hard. I didn't want to destroy my camera. I was like, I can't afford to get a new camera right now. So I was like, no, I'm not going to use my camera. So yeah. And my phone was fine. I was just moving. So yeah. Selena says, you worked hard, pal. Love the pop shop. You witnessed a great moment. Thank you. It was fun. Even though it was raining. Wow. Hugo pedal in the rain. He has. But yeah. And I met some cool reporters there as well. And, well, one not so cool. And, but I'm sure she'll say the same about me. So yeah, so it was good. It was actually cool. Therese one says, sounds like a TV show. You got great audio from the people drowning out the firm plant. Yeah, because I was literally right in the middle of them the screams of one of which I was. Yeah. So I wish I got better video. If I was in front, I would have gotten, but because I was literally running when I saw the car and realized that I heard a noise go up, and all of us who were at the other place, because we weren't sure which door they were going to go in, we took off running to where this entrance. And so all of that movement is me just literally running up and trying to somehow get to the front to somehow get a better video. And what I got is what I got. So, well, I'm happy I got you in stitches, Desmops. So, yeah. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Claudia. That's how I feel. I got something, I got something, whatever that something is, that's a little something. So maybe if I do it again, it'll be better. Again, the last time I only got a blur. So there you go. So this is much more than my blur. So yeah. Teresa says, next time wear a raincoat and a hood, no umbrella, waterproof camera. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. That I do, right? Maybe next year I'll get the waterproof camera. Right now, can't afford that. But and also too, my camera is my baby. And I was like, I can't imagine not using my camera. That's like my baby. I don't know. I get attached to things. And so, but no, true. Wearing a raincoat is a much better idea than the umbrella. But in the moment, even though I knew it was supposed to rain when I left home, it wasn't raining, but when I got there and before they got there, it started raining. And then when I was waiting for the end, it was coming down in buckets. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah. Let's see. Couple more. You should have used Mary Poppins umbrella. I really wish I did. It's so funny. I used to work on when Mary Poppins was on Broadway. I used to work at the New Amsterdam Theater where it was. So I worked on Mary Poppins for like 4 years. And so, yes, I could have used Mary Poppins as umbrella, and, that at least I would be floating up and above all of drama so that I can get a better shot. So thank you, Church Nelly. Raincoat and Mary Poppins umbrella. Thank you. So funny. I hadn't thought of Mary Poppins in such a long time. So funny. Like if you've ever worked, I don't know if you guys ever worked on Broadway or really any musical at all. After 4 years, like you learn how to tune things out. And it's so funny. I would literally go through a whole show and literally not hear the music because I learned how to tune it out. It was just wild. But, past life. Let's see. A couple more before I go. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Janet Lavalley. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A Crazy Trucker. Oh, wait. Crazy Trucker. Hello. Welcome. I hadn't seen this before. So where's Wilboy, who kept whining about Africa's population? Apparently he's being silent and, silently home tossing things, I assume. But, according to press, he is silent. And I guess they won't be speaking. Now that we know that they lied, now that we know, maybe if Harry and Meghan call them out in the next 3 episodes, maybe we'll hear something. Who knows? We did hear that we're very much not a racist royal family in the beginning. So who knows where they'll go this time. So yeah. Let's see. Desmond says a lone voice is descent of dissent planted by the Daily Fail and the Palace. That disgusting heckler sounds British. He is British. The guy is British because, after he was saying other stuff, so you heard his accents, he was British. He may have been planted. He was definitely planted. I mean, again, I was standing with the ITV reporters and they were like, yeah, that definitely sounded like a plant. It was just too obvious. I mean, if you're going to be a plant, at least be a little less, obviously that you are a plant. I mean, hello. And the British accent, I mean... really? So yeah, that was very, very, very obvious. So let's see. Lydia says, I think it is media gossip. He was not happy with baby number 3. So that's really a thing. I hadn't been on Twitter in a few hours. I didn't realize that was a thing today. So who knows? They're trying to drown out all the sounds of the Sussex getting all the attention. They need some. So there you go. There you go. I didn't even realize that was a thing. It is wild that somebody mentioned, don't be surprised if baby number 4, you hear about baby number 4. That is wild. And of course, not only just because they want attention, that would, if baby number 4 comes, that would be a way of, pushing Harry further down the, line to the throne, so there's a lot in there. So that's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Yeah. So very interesting. Let's see. Cheryl says, I doubt there'll be baby number 4 because she can't stand Willie Leaks holding her hand, let alone reproducing. Check on Rose. She might be preggers. Oh, is him and Rose are still a thing? I know when, there is that video, that very awkward video of either, she looked like she was trying to hold his hand, but he wasn't having it. It's just very awkward when they were in Boston. So yeah, it's, again, why, when Harry said what he said about not marrying with your heart, why did they all jump to assume that he meant William and Kate? It's just very interesting. Thank you so much, Therese 1001. I appreciate your donation. I thank you. And I will try, and thank you for thinking it's great work. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah. So let's see if there is anything else I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I'm not in sequence today, so I was just gonna jump into here and see. There was this. Yeah, this from the Ripple Award. I just love it because so especially in the press, like, oh my gosh, Harry and Meghan, why are they getting these awards? Especially the fact that, again, it's for part of it is racial justice and all of that stuff, but they're like going over about Harry and just the idea that Harry and Meghan are getting awards. See, when William and Kate do things, like when they went to Boston, they were there to give out awards, even if they just completely neglected to invite the awardees. What I love about this is that Harry and Meghan just never show up to these things empty-handed. And that is so amazing. So just in case you didn't know, yes, they received the award, but what they also did is that they teamed up with the RFK Foundation and to create this Student Film Award where kids could, kids or filmmakers, student filmmakers could make films that really highlight women, women of change. And it's just like, it's amazing. Again, they don't they never go and they never go to these things empty-handed. We saw the same thing when they, when they won the NAACP award. They showed up, and they also honored Dr. Safia Noble with a digital award as well. So it was just really wonderful. And so this says, we are honored to receive the RFK Ripple of Hope Award this year and to partner with the Kennedy family in creation of the Artwell Foundation Award for Gender Equity in Student Film. Our hope with this award is to inspire a new generation of leadership in the arts where diverse up-and-coming talents have a platform to have their voices heard and their stories told, and value the RFK Foundation and the Archwell Foundation the values of the RFK Foundation and Archwell Foundation are aligned in our shared belief of courage over fear and love over hate. Together, we know that a ripple of hope can turn into a wave of change. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And I just love that. I love how they just go, and they never go empty-handed. You compare that with the royals, who show up at people's wherever they're going empty-handed with the attitude that's like, oh, I wish I could do more. Oh, well, I come and I take up your time and, use you as props so I can build, prop myself up. Oh, well, I wish I could do more. And this is the difference. This is such a big difference. And again, which is why I love Harry and Meghan, and which is why I get so irritated at, when I think of the way how the coverage of them, how people completely neglect, to report these things. And we know, especially the British press, they want to further their narrative of, Harry and Meghan are just getting this award for trashing the royal family. And of course, if you read what it's about, then it's completely nothing to do with any of that nonsense. But it's just like there's so much that they do that people they absolutely willfully refuse to research and see what what Harry and Meghan does. And it's so funny because when I was talking to that Times lady, that's one of the things I asked her. I'm like, have you looked on their website? And she's like, yes. And I was like, so what do you mean you don't know what they're doing? If you've looked on their website, what do you mean you don't know? And again, it's a willfulness of not reporting the facts because they have a narrative. Oh, they're just in America making money with Netflix and trashing the royal family. And that's the thing. So it's unbelievable. Yeah. Or maybe she was just lying that she did because she didn't want to admit she didn't do her research. That could be it as well. So anyways, but I absolutely love that. And one of the things I also love is their relationships with other organizations. We know that they teamed up with Kaboom to to build the park in Uvalde, Texas. And so their Kaboom, they were congratulating them for the award as well, and so they're like, congratulations to our Archwell Foundation partners. Your advocacy and support is inspiring. And it's so wonderful. It's like, I love the fact to see how the different companies and different orgs that they work for totally love tweet them when they do this. And and they go on to tweet, we worked with the Archwell Foundation and the city of Uvalde to build a playground for a community affected by tragedy. If you'd like to support, and they go on to talk about, if you'd like to support the efforts to provide play spaces for kids in need of normalcy, restore childhood and joy, give now, and they'll put there. So I'll put the link of the Kaboom. If you're interested in donating, please feel free. If not, that's fine. But it's just really great to see, they're like, yeah, come on, Archwell. So again, the wonderful work the Sussexes are doing. Let's see. Well, this is all just, people were talking about Meghan's dress because they were comparing it to, I guess, Kate wore sort of a similar, not a similar cut, like the top part. And one of our wonderful squaddies is like, nah, that's kind of Meghan's style. This whole thing is Meghan's style. So no, she's not. She's not copying anyone. And it's very funny. NBC was reporting that the royal Duke and Duchess of Sussex, also aka Prince Harry and Meghan, were the most sought after honorees at the Ripple of Hope Gala Tuesday night at in Midtown. And again, there were a bunch of other celebrities there, but they were the most sought after. Of course, we know. We know. We didn't need NBC to tell us this, but we know. But anyways, couple of things. I'm just happy, I hope everybody has been celebrating the fact that Archewell won the People's Choice Award. And I just want to say, I'm bringing it up because I just want to say thank you guys so much, because I know that you've been there voting your 25 times a day. Many of our fingers were going numb from voting. And so it's been a wonderful to celebrate this this win. And also our girl Serena Bestie also won the change the Game of Changers. It's like a change maker award, and so she also won the People's Choice Award for that. So it's just such a wonderful thing in its first year. Archetypes, with the help of all of us who voted and voted and voted and voted and voted until we're like, oh my God, if I vote one more time, it's gonna die, and it's wonderful because not only that, and I'm hoping you guys got a chance to read this. Meghan gave a thank you. I'm going to put the link to it in the show notes. Again, this was a couple of days ago and I haven't been on here a couple of days. So I'm assuming you've heard this from Baron and the Duchess of the Duchess of Success already. But I just absolutely love this. And the bottom, she says, thank you to all the supporters and fans of Archetypes who voted for us for the special People's Choice Award. I love digging my hands into the process, sitting up late at night in bed, working on the writing and creative. And I love digging deep into the meaningful conversations with my diverse and inspiring guests, laughing and learning with them and with each of you listening. And so it's been a labor of love with an amazing team who are each instrumental in helping to bring this series to life. And she goes on to name special thanks to all of them for this. So I will, again, if you don't know the site, the link is in the show note, will be actually in the show notes for Archewell, for their news. And so that way, yes, Archewell. And one of the things I absolutely love is People's Choice. They were love tweeting it as well. I love it. This is People's Choice tweeting about Archetypes. People's Choice tweeted, Archetypes is such a good listen. Well done winning the pop podcast of 2022. And they're tweeting again. On the side, I forgot what they said in the bottom of this because I accidentally cut it out. But they are sending love. Basically, Susanna Duncan is like, congratulations to the amazing woman congratulations to this amazing woman for winning the People's Choice Award. And then People's Choice responded with the kisses at the bottom. And then, they tweeted again, huge win for Archetypes crew, win for the Archetypes crew. So they were, definitely really excited about that win as well. And of course, Spotify, best new podcast of 2022. You see Archetypes right there, so Spotify is like highlighting the best of podcast 2022. Did any of these shows showed up in your Spotify wrap? And so, yep, we see, best new podcast, Archetypes right there at the top. So there is very, very, very exciting. And then Patu, one of our squaddies, tweeted, what didn't you do to bury, the quote that Meghan did, what didn't you do to bury me, but you forgot I was a seed? And Spotify responded, 100% iconic. So, I love it that they respond to the squad and they tweet the squad and they are all, Spotify is really, they're Spotify and Netflix. They're like, we're getting our money's worth here. We love this. So yeah, I mean, kudos to them, first season and Meghan already, she got a big award. So that is wonderful. And lastly, Harry in Hawaii. And I love that they, at least finally tell us why, we knew from the pictures where he was. But I'm happy that, sometimes I feel like Harry and Meghan forget they have a website, and it's like, oh yeah, we got a website, let's update it so our fans could, like, you know, could know exactly what we're doing. It's like, thank you for remembering that you had a website, you know, and thank you for the update, you know. I'd be like, you know, can I come and work for you and just do your website so that way we will know, everybody would know what, you know, what's up. So yeah. So you know, wonderful work by Prince Harry, being you know, going there for Pearl Harbor Days. Like the Duke of Sussex visited Pearl Harbor National Memorial in Honolulu, a monument honoring the thousands of servicemen and civilians affected by the tragedy as part of the Duke's continued commitment to remembering and honoring military personnel, veterans, and families. He toured the site in the USS Missouri and the USS Arizona alongside Admiral Samuel Paparo, Commander, U.S. Pacific Fleet, and Admiral John Aquilo, Commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, paying his respects with a ceremonial laying of flowers at the reflection pool. So it was just wonderful. I mean, Harry and the military is amazing. And what is so it stands out so much to see, you know, because we see the disrespect from the UK, a man who served that country for 10 years, and the disrespect they show Harry. And look at the respect of the US military for this man. And it is just, it's amazing. It is just, it's, I'm telling you, I will never not be angry about how they've treated Harry in that country. I will never. But I'm grateful he's here and is respected by the men and women in uniform in this country, because they respect all that he's done for, you know, the world, and what he's doing, especially through Invictus and other military organizations that he supports. So kudos to Prince Harry. Thank you so much, Olivia. I appreciate your super sticker so much. Thank you for your support. And anyways, I'm going to stay in the chat for a couple of seconds more, and we will end it. Let's see. Cookies and Cream says, the racist British press attacked every episode of Archetypes to get it to fail. Meghan won anyway, in spite of the foolish attempts. The Sussex are winners, and that's why they're going crazy, because they usually are able, once again, to dominate a person. They're able to carry the narrative. What they're realizing finally in the world of Netflix, which is, again, a global company, in the world of Spotify, which is global, they are a tiny, non-existent fish on the global platform. And they don't like that. They want to think they still have the colonial mindset that, you know, they can go in and dominate people, and they, you know, that they have the final say on things. And it's just like, no, you don't, you know. So they don't like the fact that they don't have the narrative. They can't carry it. So yeah. The Sussexes keep on rising. So there. Crazy Tricky says, I honestly want to hear about Meghan's miscarriage. And Meghan's miscarriage it also has to do with Jason Knauf and Prince Williams, because it was the stress that they put her under when they added their nonsense to the case, you know, that had nothing to do with the fact that, you know, Daily Mail released her letter to, they printed her letter. And so that had nothing to do with it. And they, you know, did all this stuff. And then, you know, there was a chance that they can expose Meghan's friends. And Meghan was under so much stress trying to protect her friends, she lost her child. And so it was that whole thing. And I hope they drop that right at the foot of Prince William and Jason Knauf. I really hope they do. You know, that's not me just being petty, which I am, but I just want them, you know, this whole narrative where a lot of reporters, we talked again, how they have hidden Prince William's involvement in this whole thing. They have hidden it. A lot of them will not report that Prince William gave Jason Knauf the permission to go ahead and give Meghan's and Harry's private emails and texts to the Daily Mail, you know, gave them to present that in court in support, I should say, of the Daily Mail. And so it's just like, so that, you know, they did it in court so they can sort of, you know, walk away. It's like, well, we gave it to the court, but it was in support of the Daily Mail. So it just I hope they do. I really, really hope they do and spare no one on this. Because when you do stuff and you know, again, people, you lose a child. You know, their friend who the Daily Mail attacked for, you know, claiming that he was doing some writing thing for charity, and they claimed that he cheated or something like that, and they kept going after the family. They put the family under so much stress that the wife lost her baby. Again, the same thing. And so I'm hoping that they will devote an episode to this lady, to Meghan losing her baby, to Carolyn Flack, to all the other people, you know, even Garrett, who they outed him that he had HIV, and all of these people. I hope that, you know, that's what I would hope, that one of those episodes, at least part of one of those episodes, is devoted to maybe having them or their family come on and talk about what the British press has done and how it has damaged them in so many ways, including, you know, them losing babies because of what the press and the what the press have done. And so I really, really hope so. Yeah. So let's see, a couple more before we end. I'm so happy you guys are here and come hang out with me. I so appreciate this. Chijeli, I hate that song. I hate that song with a passion. She's like, great podcast battle. Borrow Rihanna's umbrella next time. That was my introduction to Rihanna. And for me, that is down from the first day I heard that song. That is down as my number one most hated song of all time. I hated that Ella nonsense. I'm like, if you ask me for the entirety of my life which song I hate the most, that would be that song. So I might just leave Rihanna and her umbrella. But thanks, Just Nelly. I hate that song so badly. Cynthia saying, please remember to pray for Haiti. Again, I haven't been online in a few hours. I mean, on Twitter and stuff in a few hours, or check the news. Did something else? Oh my goodness. Please tell me something else didn't happen to Haiti. Please. I mean, how much bad luck can this country have? Oh my goodness. So if there's something else that has happened, Lord, yes, let's please. I mean, just pray for them no matter what, but I'm hoping nothing else just happened. Yeah. Let's see. Joy says they can pull Charles and William involvement in without mentioning their names. Just name their aides and courtiers. There's the connection. Look, I would name them all. If I'm gonna name the aides, why just blame the aides? The aides can't do anything without the permission of William and Charles. They can't, because whatever it is, whether it's emails and all of that stuff, that is the property, that's the crown property. They can't just take it upon themselves and just go release that stuff. And again, the things he releases, not just like you leaking stuff to a press or whatever, so they can claim, sources, an unnamed source, whatever. That's court document with your name on it. So, if Jason Kanoff leak that stuff, then he can't just leak that stuff to the court on his own. He has to have permission to leak that stuff. And that permission comes from his boss. And knowing how Prince William is, he wouldn't dare go leak that stuff on his own. He wouldn't, William is not that. They kind of, when he says jump, that's when you jump. You don't jump on your own. That's how much he controls that space. So if I'm going to name the courtier, then no, I would say name the people who are responsible for giving permission to do that. The same way I feel with his security, because we know Edward Young and Clyde Alderman, whatever his name is, they're the ones that are with Ravek. So if you're going to name them, then name Prince Charles and the Queen. Those are the private secretaries. The Queen, maybe she didn't have much control over, as we know, he can, tell her what her schedule is. So he was put in place there by Prince Charles. So I think on a whole, Edward Young has been answering to Charles, again, all this whole time. That's what it seems to be. So I will just name Prince Charles or King Charles. I have not yet used to the fact that he's a king. I keep calling him Prince. So anyways, yes, Judge Nelly, not dislike. I hate with a passion Umbrella. Like, seriously, unnatural. It's probably the only thing other than Snakes. Umbrella, that song is probably the only thing I hate with that much passion. The only thing I absolutely hate with that much passion is that song. But anyways, thank you, Jennifer. She's like, "You're too funny. I love your patness." Yeah, so let's just say nobody's going to be hiring me to be a pop anytime soon. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, for keeping our space wonderful and safe. And I so much appreciate you and everything that you do. Thank you so much let me move myself out of the way so you can see our names. Thank you so much to our 2 Cents Crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for your support. And to all our wonderful friends who during the live or who supports the chat, the channel via super chat, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, Cash App, merchandise, any way you support the channel. Thank you so much for everything that you've done, and I really, really appreciate it. I love you all, and I will, Lord willing, he keeps us safe. Oh, by the way, if you're new here and you haven't, please subscribe to our channel. Subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Like this video, please. Like and share. Thank you so much. And join the 2 Cents Crew if you haven't already and if you're able. So thank you guys so much. I love you all. And I will see you next time. Bye.